Okay, after missing a week,
Due
we're
to
back.
you.
This is the first week we've missed in a month.
What episode number is this?
This would be episode 7.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Are you sure about that? Yes, John Cena, I am sure about that. And let's jump right into this. I'm ready to get this done. Let's jump into Raw. So what was this? Oh yeah, Roman Reigns came out, spoke one word, and was immediately interrupted by Stephanie. So what you even put your phone away?
I'm checking to see what episode number it is.
This is episode 7.
I'm just checking.
I already know.
I don't trust you.
This is my show.
It's my show too. I'm on it.
This is not the Kevin Owens show.
I'm gonna call this Teenage Night Show. I have a notification. What? Hold on. I'll get back to you here in a second.
Basically, this just set up for Foley to come out and announce the main event of the night, which was going to be Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in a steel cage for virtually no reason, because title wasn't on the line. There were no stakes in this match at all.
Because plot.
It was just a cage match. Yay, ratings, cage match.
Guess what? It didn't help the ratings.
Well, the match wasn't all that. That match was like 5 minutes long.
Hey, you did an update today.
I did do an update today.
I didn't see that.
I did.
Yeah, this is episode 7.
I did that. I only hit you that hard so that the mic would pick it up. Ow.
Okay, let's get back to the show.
I separated my shoulder.
All right, let's
I
go
had to
back.
pop
All right,
that
Finn.
back into place.
All right.
I have to forfeit the Universal title. Thanks.
You're not Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens didn't forfeit the title. He won it. He did the exact opposite of forfeiting
Yeah,
it.
you're not Finn. Sorry. I got confused.
Too sweet.
I flipped him off.
Yeah, there's all this.
Yeah, nothing really happened on Raw.
Blah, 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 blah. Rusev versus Rollins. Yes.
That was actually a decent match.
I guarantee you that's going to be the main event of a WrestleMania within the next 5 years. Rusev versus Rollins.
You think so?
Yeah.
How long has Rusev been on the main roster now? 2 years?
I believe so.
How long did it take the Shield guys to get into the title picture? 3 or 4?
It took. They showed up in 2012, broke up in 2014.
Rollins won it at WrestleMania
Rollins won it,
31.
which would have been the very next WrestleMania.
So
in
it took
2015.
So it took Rollins 3 years.
Rollins 3 years.
Roman 3.5, and then Dean 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about getting that time if they want to start pushing Rusev as like a main guy.
That's the thing. He's done so much for the U.S. title, more than almost anybody else other than Cena has done.
When KO eventually turns face, Rusev could be the top heel.
He could.
Or Roman.
Or one can only hope that like Roman could be the top heel of the company.
He's got to be worth something.
There's something there. Like somebody back there sees something that nobody else is seeing.
And guess who it's not? It's not Vince. Or else it would have happened.
It did happen. That's the thing though.
But
3 times. He won 3 he won 3 world titles.
No, I'm saying like someone's back there like and they have the great idea of turning Roman heel, but Vince isn't going to listen to it.
Like
it could work. It just essentially take the Usos, current gimmick, with heels, put it on Roman. And it'll work.
Roman's going to walk up to Rusev and say, I don't want your raggedy ass title.
But he does want it. That's the deal.
No, he wants the other raggedy ass title.
He don't want none.
He wants the belt that's made out of Shinsuke's poor tights.
I thought it was his jacket.
Either one, they're made of the same thing.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. Are you sure about that?
By the way, this was recorded 3 months ago when that meme was relevant.
Who even won this match? Oh, it was a double count out.
Yeah.
And they were hyping up Seth like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He was jumping off the announce table. That announce table was like 6 feet in the air.
It was like, and Michael Cole said from like the top of the arena is like, that's barely like higher than the turnbuckles.
Like it's not like the old stage that was like a 10-foot drop. This is like it's like a 2-foot drop from the stage, and then you add the announce table. It's like maybe a 6-foot drop.
Yeah, if that. I'm thinking more 5
Like
and a
it's
half.
not even like it's like jumping off the top rope almost. It's like a little bit higher than the top rope.
He jumped off something a lot higher later.
Oh yeah, very concerning because Rusev
Nearly missed it.
Rusev waited a little bit before he got up. I'll tell you what. And all night they kept advertising the freaking cruiserweights, even though it didn't happen until almost the end of the show. Oh, this backstage promo between Jericho and Foley.
The list of Jericho.
Oh, this is the one between Jericho and Owens, but that one was good too. That he won't like it. And then Braun Strowman fought the same sixth grader he fought last week.
In Sin Cara. I thought it was 2 weeks ago. Have they fought 3 weeks in a row?
I don't know.
Please tell me no.
I don't care. I've lost interest already in Braun. They've already killed Braun for me because I just lost interest.
You know what they're doing? Remember that thing with Tensai where they kept feeding him to jobbers and like you just
and
knew
then they buried him?
You knew he was building up to lose to Cena?
Yeah.
Strowman's
He's building up to lose to Reigns.
Exactly. Either Reigns or Lesnar.
I want to see
Roman's going to beat Strowman and then Lesnar.
I just hope one day Lesnar just does something that pisses Vince McMahon off and he just like jobs Lesnar out to Strowman. Except for the fact that Lesnar could probably beat the shit out of Strowman.
I don't think there's anyone in the WWE that could actually beat Lesnar in a fight.
Well, I mean, Kurt Angle did it.
Several years ago.
I'm sure he could probably do it now. Kurt Angle has not let up at all.
But he's also, like, super injury prone and old.
He was injury prone back then.
Broke his freaking neck.
With a broken freaking neck. Yeah, Strowman beat the sixth grader.
Yeah, that's the end of that.
And we got the tag team match, Charlotte, Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Oh, I want to talk about this for a second. I texted you last week during Raw, and I sent you a picture, and I said Sasha's shoulders were down, and you were saying, no, we can't see the other shoulder. They went back at the beginning of this show.
Well, that was on purpose.
Clarified that.
That's because that pin was on purpose. I could have told you that.
Yeah, I know that pin was on purpose. That's what I was trying to tell you.
No, you were trying to make it look like it was an accident. You were explaining it to me like it was an accident.
No, I was just trying to explain to you, like, they should have said, like, Sasha's shoulders were off.
Sasha.
I cannot pronounce her name. Mrs. Banks. I can't call her that because then she sounds like the mom for Fresh Prince.
But yeah, Charlotte and Dana won.
And there's also a triple threat now for, we didn't mention that, a triple threat for the women's title at Clash of Champions.
I'm kind of getting tired of all these, like, multiple people matches. They're happening in every one of them.
Are you not sports entertained?
I'm not sports entertained by these like triple threats, fatal four ways, and 6-pack challenges anymore.
I mean,
why can't I get singles matches?
Why can we not get like pre-advertised singles matches that aren't advertised as like normal singles? And then we get to the pay-per-view and it's like no DQ.
I don't care about that. Make them all steel cage matches for all I care. Put the women's triple threat in a steel cage. It's immediately 30 times more entertaining.
I know this has nothing to do with Raw because this is SmackDown, but Nikki Bella is talking about she wants no DQ with Carmella at No Mercy.
What are they going to do?
Not get counted out?
Yeah. Because they're not going to... They don't hit anybody with chairs anymore, even across the back. They barely do that.
They can go through a table.
I want to see women go through a table. I want to see women put other women through tables.
Becky would powerbomb someone through a table.
Not like Bubba Ray Dudley putting Trish Stratus through a table.
That happened? WWE hasn't wiped that from your memory yet?
And also, they also put Mae Young through a table.
Bubba Ray also put Dixie Carter through a table.
Bubba Ray Dudley does
not like women.
He does not like women. No, he loves women and he loves tables, so he decides to put those two loves together. But those two things just don't necessarily agree with each other. Especially Mae Young. Mae Young has never gotten along with tables. Or men, for that matter.
Or hands.
Or anything. Mae Young has not gotten along with
No, I guess
anything.
she's gotten along well with
She
hands.
got along well with Fabulous Moolah.
But they hated each other.
I don't know. They hung out together a lot.
Or is that in kayfabe they hated each other? That was really a long time ago. But anyway.
Mae Young got put through a table.
What's the next thing?
What is this? They showed the Memphis Grizzlies. I hate when they do that.
Why?
I don't. It's just like, why? There's no point. I don't care about any of these people.
I only like it when they're in Philly or Oklahoma City because they show the Thunder players and the Eagles players. It's always interesting to see what Eagles players still like wrestling.
It's not even really that they like wrestling. It's just like, hey, Vince Carter got tickets. You want to go? I'm like, sure. The Grizzlies aren't doing anything. You think they practice?
I want to see Carson Wentz at a WWE event. I want to see Carson Wentz wrestle.
You'd get him convinced with Heath Slater. Or
Convinced?
Sign my resume. You're getting confused with Heath Slater. Both gingers. All gingers look the same.
He's barely even ginger.
6-man tag match. It'll be Heath Slater, Carson Wentz, and Andy Dalton versus like 3 other people.
Can we get like bald NFL players?
There's a lot. There's a lot of those.
Versus bald NBA players.
There's none of those. Not a single bald NBA player.
Shaq. He's already confirmed.
Just Kevin Garnett.
I mean, Shaq's already confirmed for WrestleMania.
It'll be him and Kevin Garnett versus The Big Show.
Speaking of, I really don't want that to be Big Show's last match in the WWE.
That should not be Big Show's last match.
Can he like put over Corbin or something before he goes?
Why would he put over Corbin? I would like to see Corbin hit into days on that. On someone who's 7 feet, but I don't think Corbin should be the one to retire him. Make him put over like Braun Strowman, another monster heel. Or Samoa Joe.
I feel like...
Let Samoa Joe retire the Big Show.
What if they use Samoa Joe to beat Brock?
That was another like fantasy booking thing I saw, was like who can beat Brock? Well, Joe. Either Joe or Nakamura.
Or Finn.
I like Joe or Nakamura.
It'd be amazing if they had Finn beat him. Like 190-pound Finn.
And Brock's like, oh no, the cruiserweights are coming to get me.
It would legitimately be true now. Because Finn is technically a cruiserweight.
It's 190 pounds.
So do you think they're going to have like current stars go after the cruiserweight title?
Not a whole lot. Maybe like Neville.
Like if Kalisto gets traded over to Raw?
Yeah, like if Kalisto ever found himself on Raw, he would probably and probably Neville.
And Sami Zayn only weighs like 215, so if they just bill him as 205 from now on.
Or he could cut weight.
If you wanted to go real-wise, but WWE...
Well, they all have. Brian Kendrick legitimately cut like 20 pounds to make weight.
The Brian Kendrick?
The Brian Kendrick.
Who is now like 37 years old.
And can still outperform like half the roster.
I was kind of upset Cedric Alexander did not win that Fatal 4.
I'm not.
I mean...
There's a reason. I'll let you know why when we get there. But first, we had Bo Dallas versus Gary Graham, who, the announcers let us know, is the grandson of Michael P.S. Hayes, who is the head of WWE Creative.
And the crowd was chanting, "Let's go, Jobber." When were they chanting delete? Because I never saw that.
It was at some point during that match. I don't remember when. They do it again later, I believe. I don't remember when. But they chant it then. And they're booking Dallas as like this weird monster heel, but he's neither a monster nor is he really a heel. He gets X-Pac heat.
Why doesn't he just do his gimmick from NXT where he's like a delusional heel that thinks he's a face?
That's so funny.
Like, have you seen the thing where he got arrested?
Yeah.
Like,
he touched my bum.
Like, that is one of the funniest things. But they don't let him do that. It's like they don't want comedy acts on the main roster anymore.
No, there is no more fun. Because where's Golden Truth hasn't even been around.
Where is...
And I know our Truth is there because he's been doing like every single one of Seth Rollins' Periscopes.
Seth Rollins' Periscopes?
Yeah.
We need alcohol for this.
You're the only one who drinks.
You need to start.
Why?
Because I said. Have you ever had taste alcohol?
Yes.
Did you like it?
No.
Bitch.
I've tried multiple times. It's not my thing.
Have you tried my lemonade?
No.
Try it.
No.
Tastes like lemonade. Just with alcohol. Tad. If you drink too much of it at once. Anyway. Away from my crippling alcoholism of drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade, where you can drink 5 bottles and not feel anything.
But now we got the
match 6, right?
This is match. Yeah.
Match 6.
Game 6.
In the best of 7 series, which you pointed out they only said will lead to a championship opportunity again.
I keep telling you, they never say Universal title.
Someone on Reddit mentioned a really good idea. Is like, what if when Cesaro wins, they say like you get a championship match?
There's a chance. I have a theory as to why Sheamus will actually win. Because there's rumors that they want to shift Cesaro over to SmackDown.
Well, no, this is what I'm saying is that like Cesaro wins, and then like they offer him a United States title shot, and he's like, "Nah, the guys over at SmackDown offered me a WWE title shot," and he goes over there.
But that would in kayfabe void his, like, that would be in breach of his contract. He can't just leave.
Fuck his contract. It's kayfabe.
That's what I'm talking about. Kayfabe, in kayfabe he can't just do that.
He does the swing on Steph and gets fired.
That'd be really entertaining to see.
That would lead to a wardrobe malfunction, I feel like.
You know what would be funny? Like if he did that to like Triple H.
He hits the neutralizer on Mick Foley.
I think it'd be funny if he did. I just imagine Triple H dressed in all like his business suit going getting spun around by Cesaro.
Speaking, okay, so like what? 4 weeks ago, Triple H comes back, pedigrees 2 people,
Just disappears.
and then doesn't
Well, no,
come back.
Technically, he's been around. He showed up on the Cruiserweight Classic. And he's like, I'm the Cruiserweight Champion, and then pedigrees TJ Perkins.
Someone said,
And
like,
then Morrow's like, oh my god, and then he pedigrees Morrow.
someone said, like, as he was like putting the belt on Perkins, he should have whispered in his ear, like, Triple H always goes over, and then pedigrees him.
This belt doubles as a shovel.
Someone said, like, 2K17 is not even going to be worth it if they can't give Triple H the shovel entrance anymore. Because, like, people have you seen that gif of, like, Triple H doing the shovel animation?
What was that meant for?
It had to be, like, very generic.
I know, but why is that there? Who would the animators were in there like, yeah, this could totally fit some creative guy's gimmick. He's a grave digger or a ditch digger. It's for the Undertaker. For a buried alive match.
It's so you don't, like, if you don't want a, like, super long entrance for Taker, you just give him that.
I want a triple threat match between Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's going to be an hour-long entrance.
Because Triple H's entrance at Manias are always...
Oh, yeah, and then you have Triple H making a fatal four-way and put Triple
Yeah.
H.
Because Triple H always has a ridiculous, like, long entrance.
And then you've got, like, the really long ramps at every WrestleMania.
I want, like, the, was WrestleMania 17 where it was, like, a mile and a half? It seemed like, because
Dude, it seemed
Austin,
like the
Austin came out and, like, had to walk in, like, a serpentine for a mile.
Yeah. They should make it, like, the length of, like, a marathon. Which is, like, 3.1 miles or something like that.
Marathon? It's 26 miles.
What am I thinking of, a 4K?
Probably.
One of them is only, like, 3 miles. Or something like that. They should just, like... Or make them run, like, a 4K, which I think is, like... Because that's 4 kilometers, so that's, like...
8 miles?
That's, like, 8 miles.
Something like that.
They're running... They have to jog the ramp.
No, it would be, like... It might be, like, 7 miles or something like that.
Make him run a 4K down the ramp. And then still wrestle.
The only person that could do that is Cena.
And he's still doing his dead sprint that he does.
He's not
like,
human.
man, Cena must be tired. And he goes, are you sure about that?
Okay, so next was...
Cesaro won.
wins. So... sorry. Ties the series at 3, and the last one will be at... I keep wanting to say No Mercy, but it'll be at Clash of Champions. It's all 2 pay-per-views a month things and screw me up.
And this is the Jericho Foley one, where he's like yelling at Foley, and Foley's like, "What? What?" He's like, you can't hear me? He's like, "No, because I'm missing an ear."
And then he said something about the list of Jericho, and then they go to commercial, and they come back, and Jericho's standing in the ring.
I was hoping he would have like that 8-foot list,
Someone said what he should
and
have
half
done.
of his complaints would be armbar.
Someone said what he should have done is had like 2 lists like that long, and like the first one be like armbar. Wait, wrong list, and then like cut to the other one.
Or no, it's like he abuses his power, and like some other reason abuses his power.
Or like just like you said, have one of the reasons be like armbar. Wait, not supposed to be here.
Armbar. Just throws that list away.
Let's go over his list. Foley is trying to drive a wedge between Jericho and Foley.
You say Jericho's trying to drive a wedge between Jericho and Foley?
Foley is trying to drive a wedge.
This guy who wrote this recap messed up. He said Foley is trying to drive a wedge between Jericho and Foley.
It's Jericho and Owens,
Jericho
right?
and Owens.
Okay, so Foley is trying to drive a wedge between Jericho and Owens.
For that leper Sami Zayn.
Oh my god. I mean, the whole list was pretty great.
And then Enzo and Casco, like, they fit. They're like, oh shit, we forgot to include all these other storylines. Here, let's put them all into one segment. So Enzo and Cass come out to interrupt Jericho. Then they're interrupted by the Shining Stars, who are then interrupted by the New Day, who are then interrupted by the Club. And Jericho's like, screw it, I'm getting out of this clusterfuck. And right when he's going up the ramp, his walking gets interrupted by Sami Zayn.
Which, why did Sami... Oh, yeah, they fought last week. But say, why did
And then he
Zayn...
slapped him in the face with a phone.
That was pretty great, but...
I hope now, like, it'd be like every 8 years now, Jericho has to put somebody's face through some sort of technology. Because he put Shawn Michaels' face through the Geritron back in 2008.
Like the TV that
Yeah.
he keeps for...
That's why Shawn Michaels has that weird eye. Like, his eye is weird. I don't know if you've ever noticed. He has like a lazy eye almost now. It's because of when he went through the Geritron, it fucked up his eye.
Dude, wrestlers are insane. Okay, so that happened. It ended
That
in a
led
brawl.
to a 10-man tag. Yes.
I'm not even gonna lie. I fast forwarded through this match.
I watched the whole thing. Ew.
Who ended up winning? The Faces?
Yeah. A 5-man
Team. I like how it said Team Enzo.
team. Enzo got the pin, so.
Oh, okay. Off the bada boom shakalaka.
And then Foley came out and introduced the cruiserweights. All of them minus
The fucking champion.
minus Perkins, yeah.
They introduced the cruiserweight division and did not introduce the cruiserweight champion. Plus, they also changed Grand Metalic's music. Horrible. Bad.
You need to chill. I don't even remember Grand Metalic's music. Was that supposed to be like a sneezing dab, or
No, I was just trying to sneeze away from the mic.
or as I call it, a hard sneeze, a chew.
Okay, so then we had a fatal 4-way
This was great.
between Grand Metalik, Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, who I was rooting for, and the Brian Kendrick.
Okay, I know we're all big Alexander marks, but here's the thing: you don't want Alexander to do that job to Perkins.
Yeah, because Perkins isn't going to lose.
So what you do is that you have the veteran go in there and
But didn't Alexander eat the pin?
Yeah, well, he ate the tap, but that's not that big a deal. So now you have Kendrick going in there, and he's going to take the job to Perkins. And that'll probably set up a feud between Perkins. Probably another match between Perkins and Kendrick. I would like to see a program between those two, because Kendrick's really, really good.
Okay. Do you like the fact that they're treating the cruiserweights as like a whole separate like entity, like with the different color scheme of being the purple Titantron and stuff like that?
I hope that they intermingle a little bit more with the actual main roster. Like, say, since Cedric isn't going to be in the title picture right now, if he could go into a feud with, I don't know, just any other mid-carder.
Roman.
Maybe. Or like
No.
he gets or maybe like here in a couple years he gets thrown into the US title picture.
Yeah.
I like it when cruiserweights aren't just dedicated just to the cruiserweight title.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe him
Like when Matt Hardy went from being the cruiserweight champion, he moved up, became the US champ.
Why do I feel like they're going to pair Alexander and Swan together just because they're both black?
Or because they're both super charismatic black guys.
Well, do you remember whenever Kofi and R-Truth formed a tag team and they could never figure out another reason besides they were both black?
They both joined the New Day.
So now the New Day is 5 people, or they replace Kofi and Xavier?
They become a super power stable.
Welcome to the NWO.
Yeah. The Black World Order. The BWO. That's the Blue World Order. Fuck.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I'll tell you afterwards.
You probably should.
I'll tell you afterwards. Anyway.
And they very briefly mentioned Nia Jax and Alicia Fox.
Nia Jax didn't have a match this week, did she?
Nope.
I guess they're saving that masterpiece for, I almost said Backlash. Clash of Champions. Jesus. They need to just go back to one pay-per-view a month.
So, what is it? Oh yeah, now it's the cage match. Which Owens just spent like the entire match just trying to leave. Which is the smartest thing you can do. Just like, get out.
Which still in kayfabe to me, it doesn't make sense as to why you can exit through the door. Because why would you not just like knock your opponent to the ground and then like run for the door?
I mean, Kevin tried.
I mean, Kevin tried it, and Roman...
I don't know. Kevin, like, even though he's probably like well over 300 pounds, still trying to climb.
He did.
I know, and he can do it. He can
like,
do it.
Owens has got to be like super strong, right?
He does a lot of things people his size shouldn't do.
Like, he can
Or
pop
shouldn't
up
be able-
powerbomb like Roman.
That's great when he's able to do stuff like that.
Like, so he's got to have some strength.
Like, I want to see him, like, pop up powerbomb like the Big Show.
I want to see him do it to a really small dude and see how, like, forceful it looks.
He should do it to,
Kalisto.
or, like, Grand Metalik, who's not really small, but just, like, really thin.
So, like, does Owens pop up powerbomb, like, in kayfabe have to come off, like, the, like, rope?
Probably
thing?
not, but it
Like,
looks cool.
Like, if someone goes off the top rope and he catches him and power bombs him.
That's not pop-up power. That's just a powerbomb.
But would that still count as, like, a finish?
I don't know. I guess not, because it's not his pop-up powerbomb.
So he'd have to catch him, throw him up, and then powerbomb him.
But he probably, like, let them land on their feet, then he'd grab them, toss them to the ropes, and then pop them up powerbomb.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sami Zayn sells that the best because he's taken, like, 10,000 of those over the last 15 years.
And Owens sells the Haluva kick really well and the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Which the fact that Sami Zayn could get him up for a Blue Thunder Bomb is amazing.
Dude, wrestlers...
Considering that guy is basically a cruiserweight.
I've just accepted no matter how weak the wrestlers are and like how small they look, they're always like freakishly strong.
Well, they have to be.
Like pound for pound, Cesaro is probably the strongest dude.
Probably. The dude lifted the Big Show.
Like dead weight, like it was the neutralizer. So like that's 100% on Cesaro.
Like,
because like if his finisher was like a suplex or anything like that, like Big Show can jump into it. There's no like jumping into the neutralizer.
I want to see AJ Styles hit the Styles Clash on the Big Show. He might actually kill him.
His head would be hitting the ground.
Exactly.
You couldn't do it.
Like he's just
So,
like,
like,
I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going for it.
Styles is never going to be able to wrestle Corbin either, unless he introduces the spiral tap
Or he could finish him with a phenomenal forearm like he finished Cena with
or
it.
the calf crusher killer, whatever they're calling it now.
He might be able to finish with that 450 splash.
The Styles splash that I will start calling it every week now. I mean, I've been calling it that, but
yeah, Reigns won, but that's not important.
I don't know why. Why would Reigns win? Why give that one to Reigns?
Because it doesn't really affect either of them either way. Because it was set up in a way to make both of them look. I don't say make both of them look strong, but neither of them looked weak either.
I thought they were going to tie there at the end.
Because Owens gets out a second after Reigns. It's not like Reigns beat him by a mile. It's not like Reigns knocked him out in the middle of the ring and then walked out the door.
So if Reigns wins this Sunday, which I don't know, is this going up Sunday?
Probably.
So if Reigns wins tonight, does he have?
Well, that's the thing. He's not.
Okay. Well, do you think he comes back on Raw and says like, "I beat the champion. I get a championship match"?
What we're saying is Reigns is going to unify all titles,
including the tag team,
including the cruiserweight.
Roman's going to drop a lot of weight.
No, like he's just going to say, "Screw the rules. I'm Roman Reigns."
Someone said,
and he's just going to Superman punch T.J. Perkins.
Someone said what they should do is if they want to keep the New Day fresh and they want to keep them going even longer, turn them heel again, but have Xavier win the Cruiserweight title and use like the Freebird rule and have Big E defend it.
Oh no.
And just have Big E like dominate the Cruiserweight division and then finally have someone come up and beat him for it. It'd be amazing. Because if you don't know what
I'm just imagining like Rich Swann and Big E Langston
in a cruiserweight match.
I just imagine, because I know Ibushi isn't signed and he's not coming to do it, but I just imagine Big E Langston and Kota Ibushi, or him and Jack Gallagher.
But I guess the Freebird rule is like, supposedly it's the New Day uses it and the tag team titles. Like technically, I think Big E and Kofi won it, but like Xavier is allowed to defend it with them.
Yeah, they could swap out Kofi for.
So I don't know if it works with singles titles, but that would be the
Probably
greatest.
Not.
That'd be the greatest thing ever.
I would have thought Evolution would have done that, like with the IC title. Instead of having Randy defend it, have Batista defend it.
You just have Randy as the official champion.
Yeah, or like, honestly, they could have done it with the tag titles, since the tag champs were Batista and Flair. They could have had it be like Batista and Triple H, and Flair just not be involved at all.
Like have Flair involved in the initial match to be listed as the champion.
Yeah.
Have Batista get the pin, and then just have Triple H defend it all the time.
Yeah. Or like with, this would be really stupid, with the World Heavyweight Championship with Triple H World Heavyweight, have Ric Flair defend it.
So no one's defending the room title.
Yeah.
So Triple H is defending the Intercontinental, technically. Batista's defending the World Heavyweight, and No, you need one more person. But say Rick and Randy can.
Or the old DX days, Triple H is defending the WWE title, and Shawn's just chilling.
Okay, but anyway, Owens gets the win. I mean, no, Reigns gets the win. My bad. This is a 15-minute match.
And then Rusev, for some reason, is here.
Rusev came down and like locked Roman in the cage with.
He's like, Machka, bitch. And then.
Did you hear Owens like Machka something?
Machka something.
Like Owens is amazing. Like just, what is it? Impromptu.
Yeah.
Like just off script. He's amazing at that. He's one of those people I feel like in the back they hand him the script for the promo and he does the punk thing and just rips it up and throws it away.
Machka something. And then like. It was comedic to me how long it took Rusev to get the lock on that door. He's like fumbling with the chain for like,
and he's like
a
telling
good
the
5
refs,
minutes.
And the wrestlers, Rusev knows, like, you want to grab the door? Like, there are 4 of you.
The refs are like, Rusev, come on, man.
Please.
Stop.
Please, you're making our job hard.
Don't do that. Come on. Rusev, buddy.
I mean, we could call security, who are all just as big as you because we've seen them.
I mean, we can call security, which one of them's probably like Ty Dillinger or some shit. I called these guys up from Orlando.
Get Trips out here.
I know Bobby Roode was a security guard one time. I'll get him down here. It'll be glorious.
Who? I don't recognize that name.
But then, he locks the door. They start beating the shit out of Roman. And then Seth comes out. And immediately is like on the top of the cage within 20 seconds.
And he's like, as he's running down the ramp, he kind of looks like he doesn't know what to do. And then just like hops on the cage and starts climbing. Like, that was really cool. And then he gets the top and then jumps off. And did he like crossbody Rusev?
He hit them both.
Okay, I didn't know if he only hit one of them.
And Rusev like took his sweet time getting up. Like, I thought Rusev might have been hurt.
He's like, God dang it, Roman.
He's like, he Machka'd me.
They would have to input Roman into the title picture now and make it a triple threat.
No more triple threats. No more fatal 4-ways. No more pack challenges.
But the triple threat no mercy is going to be amazing.
Like, Foley is one more fatal 4-way away from being from being the Teddy Long of fatal 4-ways.
I mean, that is like a good way to decide a contender.
But like I'm used to having like one fatal 4-way a year, if that. We've had like 5 and like in the middle of 2016.
New era, new shit.
New era, all fatal 4-ways, all day, every day, playa. You're gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
You can go 1-on-1 with Strowman. That's gonna be Foley's Undertaker Strowman.
It's Braun Strowman. Well, that was Raw.
Oh dear God! Now SmackDown. Which SmackDown to me was better than Raw this week, but it was still like it wasn't much.
I like this. Daniel Bryan's in the ring to kick off the show. There's a table there as well. That's a nice table right there. This was the for the women's contract signing, wasn't it?
Did you enjoy this segment?
I thought it was all right.
Better than the women's segment we got to open the show a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, that women's segment was trash.
I think that was last week or week.
That
before
was
last?
that was the go home show to Backlash.
Yeah, that's right. So we did a podcast on that one. I don't remember us talking about it.
And it was bad.
It just killed like all momentum from the start of the show.
I don't remember a lot of it, but I just remember Becky and Alexa just yelling at each other.
Dude, Bliss has become one of my favorite people, and it's solely based on the fact that she dresses like Harley Quinn.
And she's like, rude. That's all I know about
And I will defend.
That's all I know about Alexa Bliss right now.
Hey, I see a picture of Sam Bradford just randomly. Okay.
It's probably just like an ad thing.
Oh, look, there's Bound for Glory. Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy.
It's this website's Twitter feed. Nobody cares about your fucking Twitter feed. Don't ever put your Twitter feed on your website. Nobody cares.
I care. Look, it's Broken Matt and Broken Jeff.
And Broken Sam.
And Broken Bobby.
Broken Sam.
Broken Sam. Oh. You're talking about Bradford.
You know, the Sam Bradford we've been talking about.
Anyway, back to SmackDown.
We had the number 1 contenders match for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. I'm glad that he specified Jay and Jimmy. I thought it might be the other Usos. Like, I don't know, Rikishi and fucking The Rock.
Versus American Alpha, which, by the way, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan's.
Jason Jordan's.
Oh, dang it.
Jason got a pair of them Jordans. He stole it from Enzo. But again, the American Alpha is getting way better at just like doing the in-ring storytelling thing with Chad Gable's kayfabe injury. The fact that Jordan didn't want to tag Gable back into the match there at the end, and that's what cost him the match.
Because now they've lost 2 matches and have yet, or no, they didn't lose the last one. Now they've lost a match and don't look weak doing it.
Yeah, well, I guess Gable looks a little weak just because
his knee looks weak. His arms are heavy.
We need to build Gable's knee strong. We need to book it strong.
I said you said his knee's weak, and I said his arms are heavy.
There's vomit on his singlet already. Von Spaghetti.
I was gonna say Jordan Spaghetti.
But yeah, the Usos actually pick up the win here. And
do you like heel Usos?
I love heel Usos.
Do you like the fact that they changed their Titantron now to where it's not bright and colorful?
I like the fact that they do nothing now. They just kind of walk out. They just kind of meander down to the ring.
You mean what Roman should do?
That's kind of what Roman does.
I mean, yeah, he does do that, but he needs to act more heelish.
I mean, he's got like that heelish kind of swagger to him. He just kind of walks.
People are still messaging in the group chat. I'm just checking. Goldberg sent a message.
Goldberg.
Okay, so in our group chat, I'm just going to randomly mention this. In our group chat, all of our nicknames are wrestlers. I think I'm Owens,
I'm Seth Rollins.
You're Rollins. I think you guys, if you watch the other podcast, you remember Cole. He's Chris Jericho, I think. And then I think Kyle is
Enzo.
And then our other friend was Big Cass, but he's now Goldberg. So he like doesn't fit in with the rest of us. But it's just I just decided to randomly mention that. Anyway, yeah, Usos win.
And then we got this amazing. I'm cool with anything Heath Slater does nowadays, with like Heath and Rhino.
Don't say that. He'll bring back the core.
With 2 R's.
Yes.
Or whatever it was. Because Heath Slater doesn't know how to spell.
I think we talked about that on maybe the first episode of Jobbercast, like 6 months ago.
Where Heath misspelled core, and that's why they're called the core with 2 R's.
Yeah, because Justin Gabriel did an AMA on Reddit, and they asked, like, why was the core 2 R's? And he was like, you want the real story? Because we sent Heath Slater to registration, and he spelled it with 2 R's. So we just ran with it.
And then I just want to mention it doesn't say it on here, but I think it was Jimmy was talking about Heath Slater's 26 raggedy ass kids.
And then Rhino like stepped in front of him. And then the other Uso was like, no, just back away.
I'm looking forward. That's going to be match of the night at No Mercy.
Usos
and Slater and Rhino.
Can we have Slater's 26 raggedy ass kids at the ringside?
That's going to be the new NWO.
It's a lumberjack match
with a bunch of children and his wife.
Beulah or something?
No, they're going to tease it as Beulah, and then Tommy Dreamer's wife Beulah is going to come down and hit everybody with a steel chair.
I mean, Rhino will be down for it. Rhino was in ECW.
Rhino's like, I know that woman. And he gets hit with a steel chair.
He goes,
I know that feeling.
I don't remember that woman.
Who is this woman?
And then
And then Baron Corbin kills Apollo Crews again.
Yeah, once again, I fast-forwarded through this match. Did not give one shit about it.
I'm glad Jack Swagger.
I thought you were gonna transition into the Kurt Hawkins thing.
I mean, when is he gonna wrestle?
I don't know, but these
Never.
vignettes are getting weird.
But yeah, Swagger's back. I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I like Jack Swagger.
I mean, he's back, but he ain't doing shit.
I mean, he's about to.
Or he's gonna get buried on the mid card.
Him and
mid card.
Him and Corbin probably gonna have a match at No Mercy. I would imagine.
Where he's gonna lose to Corbin.
That's kind of what he's here to do. And they're trying to build Corbin. Corbin's getting way better. Like, I can watch a Baron Corbin match now.
I think the reason I soured on him so early is because he had 37 matches with Dolph Ziggler.
And he's getting over that by having 37 matches with Apollo Crews. Murdering him every single time.
Went with fighting with someone with an established character, someone with no established character.
You can just say, you can take out established. Someone with no character. Apollo Crews does not have a character.
Yeah, that's why I said no established character.
You don't need established. No character.
Yet.
It's not looking like they're...
he had that one gimmick where he tried to just like spell stuff for people, like his name and other stuff, which was interesting.
That's what started this feud. Is that Baron called him Apollo Creed?
God dang it!
And mind you, they don't talk about that anymore. But now we got the IC title match: Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz.
This, to me, was match of the week.
The Miz is so good now.
I think that was more Ziggler, but
no, The Miz is really good.
Miz is getting better, but I think personally, just
no, he's always been good. Just no, he gets that X-Pac heat.
I don't like him, I guess, because he doesn't. This is gonna sound really like stupid. I like him because he doesn't do flippy shit, which Ziggler doesn't either.
That's why you're such a casual fan.
Like I feel like I'm in
Ziggler
between.
doesn't do flippy shit either.
That's what I know. I mean, that's what I just said. Is like I know Ziggler doesn't, but I don't know why I don't like Miz. Maybe just because I hate him so much as a heel, which means he's a good heel. But
he's the best.
It's not like how I hate Natalya as a heel, just because Natalya's a bad heel. It's just because I don't like Miz's character, and that's exactly what they're trying for.
I can't tell if they're trying to build up Miz to lose, or what.
Break Honky Tonk Man's record.
Yeah, because
it's one of the two.
Because eventually they're gonna ban Maurice from ringside, and they're gonna make it where like if Miz gets disqualified, or if he sprays Ziggler in the eyes one more goddamn time with that obviously water, then he's gonna lose his title. Because that's just something.
But no, see, that's how you make him a legit champion. Is you ban Maurice from ringside, you take away the if you get DQ'd, you're done. Like you're done as champion, and then he wins clean.
But then this kind of takes away his heel credibility. The point of the chicken shit heel is to never win clean.
Okay, so who's gonna go over him?
Probably Ziggler, even though Ziggler's not gonna resign.
I mean, if they give him the IC title,
that's the point. He doesn't want the IC title.
But okay, in the past 3 months, he's been he first of all pinned the current WWE champion clean to get a championship match with the current champion. Had a main event match. It wasn't great, but he had a match for the WWE title, and then he got immediately thrown to the IC title picture. Like, they're obviously doing shit with him now.
But obviously it's not enough. He's not going to resign. He's still saying that.
Well, obviously they don't want to, they're not going to put a title on him knowing he's not going to resign. So they might, tease him with it. Like, if you sign, we'll give you the IC title, or we'll give you the WWE title.
Let him do a Punk thing. Let him drop a pipe bomb.
I feel like he would, and he'd try to do... I feel like it'd be okay, and he would try to do as good as Punk, but he's not Punk on the mic.
Miz, I hope you're sitting there as uncomfortable as ever.
So, okay, let's talk about this. Now that his match in UFC is done, 1, does he do another one, or 2, does Punk come back?
Oh, he's not going to come back.
Right now? Or ever?
Probably not ever.
Even, they go bring him into, Hall of Fame?
It'll be like one of those Macho Man things where he'll be in after he's dead.
Probably.
Where it's too little, too late kind of thing.
I've seen some stuff. I don't know how true it is because Meltzer hasn't reported on it or anything. But, they've talked to AJ Lee to try to get her to come back.
She don't want to do it either.
Well, she doesn't want to do it because probably how they treated her fucking husband.
Well, she doesn't want to travel. And she doesn't want to wrestle anymore.
They're going to bring Punk back as, a part-timer. He's going to become what he hated. It's like that. You remember that promo with Cena? It's like, you've become what you despise. You are the you are the New York Yankees. And then Cena hits him. That's a big insult. Yeah. It's like, you're a multi-time champion. But anyway, Brandon.
And then Eric Rowan dropped out to Randy Orton.
Poor Rowan. Also, what the fuck happened to Wyatt walking out on Eric Rowan?
What? I think that has to be the 4th time he's disbanded the Wyatt family?
And then 3 weeks later he just brings it back?
I mean, Harper's been cleared, apparently. So
he's going to come back.
He's probably going to come back at No Mercy.
And fuck over Randy. He's going to fuck over Bray.
Or he'll fuck over Bray, and that sets up a Bray versus
so we do Eric
Harper.
versus we do Rowan versus Harper reversed. Because remember, before Rowan has split away from the Wyatt family and was face.
I want to see Luke Harper as the world champion.
Well, you can do that in WWE 2K17.
He's got the skills, man.
I mean, he is
No
decent
man
in the
that
ring.
big should do a super kick as good as he does.
Owens can do a pretty good super kick for a big man.
I know, but like Owens is like average height though. Luke Harper is like the same weight as Owens, but he's like 6'7".
I thought he was like 6'9".
He's really tall.
Am I allowed to pull my phone out to Google this?
Show me how tall. I keep saying Eric Rowan. I want to know how tall all the members of the wife, because they're all really tall, and then Bray, because Bray's like probably like, if I had to guess, like 6 foot.
You feel like Bray's like the older brother, and the big brother just back him up whenever he talks shit.
Yeah. But then there was a disqualification. Whoa, wait, what was this? The Naomi and Nikki Bella. What is this? The Divas division again?
Probably. Oh, Harper's only 6'5".
Really? I mean, he's still tall. He's still tall. I think he's taller. He's definitely taller than Bray, but
Eric Rowan is 6'8".
okay. How tall is Braun? Huge.
Bray Wyatt's only 6'3". I figured he'd be
he's-
way shorter than that.
He's only 2 inches shorter than his huge henchman.
And Braun Strowman is 6'8".
Yeah, they're massive down there at the Wyatt compound.
Trivia question: how tall is Colin Cassidy?
He is 6'11".
7 foot.
Is he actually 7 foot?
And you can't teach that.
Oh, he is actually 7 foot.
So is Big Show.
Well, I know Big Show's legit 7 foot. I always thought Cass was like one of those things where they bill him as 7 foot, but he's like just a little bit below.
Ambrose
7
is
foot.
taller than I thought. Ambrose is 6'4".
Yeah, he's a lot of these guys are taller than what they seem because they're around taller people. Kind of like
How
kind of
tall is
like
Kane?
he is. I know he's not 7.
Nope.
He's 6'9".
8.
8.
Foot 6. Not really. 6'8". Okay. And then, well,
We got a pay-per-view main event.
which I was okay with. People complain about that, but sometimes it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's like leading up to a triple threat and you put 2 of the members of
It's
the triple
kind of
threat.
stupid to put a good match like this on free TV, but you know that's what sunk WCW.
I mean, we're cool with it, right?
They
We got a
put-
good match.
I can't remember. I think Nash versus Goldberg was on Nitro.
Also, all right, tell them how this match ended.
Oh, Ambrose pinned Cena clean.
I had to find someone on Reddit that talked about that. That was the first time in 7 years that Cena was pinned cleanly on Raw or SmackDown. The last time, I believe, would have been because that'd be more than 7 because people were talking about maybe the last time was whenever he lost to Shawn Michaels in that 60-minute match.
Yeah.
But that would have been 2006. There's no way it was 10 years, right? There's
I
no
mean,
way it was 10
It's
years.
Super
right?
Cena. Super duper Cena.
We'll have to look it up.
Omega Cena.
Omega. Kenny Omega?
I
Kenny Omega confirmed.
was thinking more
Okay.
like Omega Shenron from Dragon Ball GT.
I was thinking Kenny Omega.
Omega Cena.
Anyway,
The ultimate bad guy.
so Ambrose wins clean, surprisingly. And then Styles comes out
And AJ's here for whatever reason.
just because.
He's like, I'm here now, phenomenal
because
forearm.
triple threat. And he has phenomenal forearm on Cena.
I'm getting tired of these heels showing up for no reason.
And then hits Ambrose with a Pele kick.
And then Daniel Bryan comes out and announces that Dean's going to get his one-on-one rematch next week. I always love when the live crowd boos that.
That is hilarious because the live crowd started to boo. I was like, you have 5 minutes.
I was
in
like,
the show.
there's 5 minutes left in the show. You really think you're going to get it?
It's the dark match. Dean goes over.
But it's a dark match, so it's not canon. That'd be great.
Oh, did Cena kick out? Okay, I didn't pay much attention.
He
Cena,
kicked out of a Dirty Deeds.
That's the first person to kick out of Dirty Deeds since Roman, several months ago.
Well, to be fair, didn't AJ kick out of 2 AAs?
Yes.
So the AA is much weaker than it's been within the last 20 years.
But that was the first time someone kicked out of the Dirty Deeds since would it have been the Rumble? No, the pay-per-view before the Rumble last year where Roman kicked out of one.
That would have been TLC.
Because
the
that was
pay-per-view before the Rumble or the TLC.
or maybe it was the one where the tournament after Seth got injured, where the tournament came to an end and it was Roman versus Dean, because Dean kicked out of a spear, I think.
That
and
would have
Roman,
been right
Would that have been Night of Champions?
No, it would have been like right before Survivor Series because they were building towards Roman v Seth for Survivor Series, and then Seth got hurt.
Oh.
And they had to scrap that.
Well,
because they were talking about, I remember before they were talking about every time Seth was set to face Roman one-on-one, one of them would get hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, people were talking about that leading up to the Money in the Bank match.
It was like, please.
It was like, somebody's going to get hurt again.
Everyone thought it was going to be Dean in, like, the TLC match or the Money in the Bank match. But anyway, on this, let's start from the bottom and go up.
Oh, wait. We have, you want to talk about this?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is Dave Meltzer's thing, reported that there will be a shooter-type stable, and pretty much what that is, it's people who can actually wrestle as a part of like a WWE stable, and it'd be people like Shelton Benjamin, Dolph Ziggler,
And Jack Swagger.
They said that Gable was gonna.
Gable was the original leader of that shooter stable in NXT, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, Vince didn't like it or something like that.
Which doesn't make any sense to me. Vince has no control over NXT.
Did Vince just tell Hunter like no, like backhanded him?
That's why I don't quite believe this story. That's the biggest hole I see in the story. Is like there's no.
Or maybe
way...
Hunter didn't want to go through with it. Maybe like the American Alpha.
Well, when people tell me that Vince was okay with this, well, that doesn't matter.
I just want you to get the mental image in your head of Vince backhanding Hunter right now at their current like states.
And then Hunter's like, I have the shovel.
And then Spinebuster.
I've buried everybody. What's keeping me from burying you?
And then Stephanie walks in the room. Oh yeah.
And he buries her too. He buries the whole family.
But anyway,
even Linda. Linda's not even involved.
I think if they do the shooter stable thing, it would be the new stable that you've been wanting. That just comes in,
fucks everything up,
just messes up everything.
I've been wanting like not a nexus, but like a bunch of like young guys joining together.
An NXT invasion.
I mean, it's not really much of an invasion. You're invading your own company, but
they don't pretend like it's their own company.
I want to see like I don't know, like a stable. I'm trying to think of like some really because this would probably be a heel stable like Joe, Rude. It's going to be headed up by the 3 main TNA guys. Pretty much.
And Styles.
I mean, he's not from NXT, but, you know.
It's going to be Joe, Rude, and Aries.
I would say it's going to be the 3 veterans. And Joe, Rude, and Aries. And then you're going to throw in, I don't know.
And then Bubba Ray comes back. And Devon.
But he didn't have a successful singles career in
they
WWE,
sign EC3.
I'm trying to think of like NXT people that I can throw into this stable. Like, I don't know. You can't really turn No Way Jose heel, but like Hideo Itami. You could turn Itami heel.
Itami's gonna get booed until the second he goes for the GTS.
They're like, yeah, and then like when he pins, boo. No. CM Punk.
That'll be like, I don't want it to happen, but you know it's going to, and that's gonna be the only time I kind of give the crowd a pass on it. But
who else? NXT's kind of.
They need to build back up.
Messed up with talent right now because
like
the 3 main people I brought up are older guys.
They need to build up their own talent again.
But like they do have some really good heels. I guess you could like bring up like Asuka as part of it because I bet you Asuka could shoot beat up half the guys on the roster, maybe more than half.
Brock, Asuka v. Brock.
Maybe that would not surprise me. I kind of want like. Because I don't want to put Shinsuke in it, because I want Shinsuke to go against them.
Okay, so do you think we're going to have the problem with, like, okay, you know how Finn immediately came up and won the WWE title, or the Universal title, and everyone was cool with it? Do you think it's going to become a problem? Like, in NXT right now, their current, like, strategy is, like, sign the biggest free agent, he comes in.
Oh, James Storm and Eric Young can be in it.
If they get them. But anyway, like, their current strategy right now is sign, like, the hottest name, bring him in, put him in 1 or 2 feuds, and then put him for the NXT title, have him hold it for a few months, drop it to the next hottest free agent, send the other dude up to the main roster. Do you think eventually we're going to have a problem?
Really, when I've been watching Breaking Ground, there's not a lot of promising like WWE home-built talent, honestly. Like, a lot of these guys need a lot of help. Like, even that guy that won Tough Enough. That dude won Tough Enough. He still sucks.
Yeah.
That Yeti dude or whatever.
Yeah, but maybe try to sign younger free agents. Like, stop going after, Well,
not all the younger free agents want to stay where they're at because they have it good.
Then pay Will Ospreay out the ass.
No.
Cena's contract. Throw it at him.
Because, like, guys like Omega and the Young Bucks have it really good where they're at. They basically have creative control over their contracts.
That and the Young Bucks would also have to redo their gimmick.
Yeah.
Because their gimmick is a parody of wrestling.
And, like, I don't know, maybe down the line they can pick up Adam Cole.
He's only like 22.
He's like, yeah, he's really young. Maybe when his run as ROH champ is over in 10 years.
Were they able to sign Zack Sabre Jr.?
No. Not right now.
No, that's why he lost in the...
Yeah, that's why he lost. That's why him and Ibushi both lost. I also believe they have Jack Gallagher.
Yeah, I think they were able to sign him. But apparently Alexander's been pulling double duty. He's on
NXT, yeah.
Yeah.
That also might be why he's not in the Cruiserweight title picture.
I'm cool with him being on both.
I don't like that. I don't like watching them go from having to be on the road with Raw and then having to come all the way back to Orlando for tapings.
But see, the thing is, with tapings, they do, one every 3 or 4 weeks?
I think it's one every week.
No, because I think they film several episodes. I think they film 2 or 3 episodes in one.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, I think that's why, like, Nakamura is only going to show up, like, only wrestling 1 out of every 3 shows. They're not going to make him wrestle 3 times in one night. Okay, they might, but anyway.
But they'll make him wrestle every night when they're on the road.
Did you have another topic?
No, you wanted that shooter stable thing.
Yeah, because I think that's
if they're going to be a dominant, like that fuck everything up stable, they would have to be heel, and they're not going to bring back Shelton Benjamin as a heel.
So turn him heel, bring him back as a face, turn him heel.
But nobody will do it. Nobody booed it. Like nobody really liked the gold standard.
No one's going to boo this if it's good.
They're not good heels.
How often Shield get booed?
When they for a good 2 years, all the time.
I never saw them get booed. I always saw them get cheered, but people loved them.
That's just because anybody who comes to the crowd is getting cheered. But when they're in the ring, they're getting booed.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian got cheered when they came through the crowd. Whenever they're in the match.
So he just has to wrestle like a heel. Eye gouge, nut kick.
Well, Kevin Owens does that shit. He gets cheered.
And he's a great heel. It's just this era. Like you can't be.
I mean, people don't cheer The Miz. And The Miz is a good worker.
Because Miz has a punchable face. That's the difference.
So does Kevin Owens.
Miz looks like a dick.
Kevin Owens looks like a fucking dick. Kevin Owens looks like me.
But see,
me and Kevin Owens look very much alike.
We all like Owens because, like, okay, do you ever see anything with The Miz outside of WWE besides movies?
No.
With Owens, I see his kid. I see him be a dad, and that's the thing.
People will cheer for these indie darlings. That's why they're never going to boo Benjamin. That's why Benjamin won't be a successful heel.
Is he considered an indie darling?
Now, yeah. He went over. He's been in Japan now for 10 years. Not quite that long.
AJ gets booed in the ring. Except whenever he's fighting Cena.
No, he doesn't. They're chanting AJ Styles for the entire match.
He got booed whenever he hit Dean the other night.
Okay, but then watch this triple threat match. They're going to be chanting AJ Styles.
Oh yeah, most likely.
There's going to be
or Dean.
There's going to be a little bit. No, there's not going to be almost any Dean chants. It's going to be almost all AJ Styles
and Cena.
Let's get Cena. AJ Styles.
Johnny Moxley. Anyway, but then what's the order of this now?
I imagine just go from the bottom up.
Well, I didn't know if you want to do the main event now, or is this is going to be a dark match. But anyway, first match, the kickoff match, Alicia Fox versus Nia Jax. Who wins?
Nobody.
Not the crowd,
especially
definitely.
Not the audience.
Nia Jax. Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. Zayn.
I believe Jericho does the job and Zayn gets over.
I thought you were going to say Jericho buries him.
He could.
It
would be the first time.
It's like, I don't job to anyone. I bury everybody.
That's what he put on Twitter. He's like, I'll bury them all.
And then the first ever defense of the new Cruiserweight Championship, the WWE Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins versus the Brian Kendrick. Did you really just dab? Versus the Brian Kendrick. Who wins this? Perkins.
Kendrick's going to do the job. He's the old man.
Cesaro v. Sheamus, match 7 in best of 7 series. Cesaro.
Sheamus.
I want to hear your reasoning behind this.
I'm telling you, because they're going to move Cesaro over to SmackDown. And that's the way they're going to do it. Cesaro's going to be like, what happened? I had all this momentum. I just got stopped by Sheamus. I demand to be traded. I want to go to SmackDown.
What are they going to trade him for?
They're saying that, I saw one thing, a storyline where, Miz, that's part of his contract. He has to defend his IC title. Otherwise, Daniel Bryan could strip him or could take away his contract. Mm-hmm. That happens. They trade him. They trade Miz. They strip Miz of the title. Trade Miz for Cesaro.
What if, okay, say Cesaro wins this, and then the championship match is the United States Championship match. He beats Rusev, wins the United States title, and they trade. So the U.S. title goes to SmackDown, IC title comes to Raw.
What's the point then?
Probably what's the point? They trade Cesaro and Miz.
Like, why would they swap titles?
I don't know. No, like, Cesaro goes over to...
I know, but, like, what's the difference here?
That's
This would also get Sheamus over. They have a really good match. Sheamus goes over. All of a sudden, like...
Sheamus doesn't need to be over. I don't like Sheamus.
Why not?
He's boring.
Sheamus is fine.
He's boring.
These matches have been good.
Except the first one. I don't really like the first one.
First one was okay. You didn't even watch the first one.
What do you mean I didn't watch the
Wasn't
first
one? Wasn't the first one on the SummerSlam pre-show?
Yes.
You weren't there.
I went back and watched it.
The first one was good.
Which
The
one did I not like?
The first one was like probably the second best out of the series, if not the best.
Which one ended on a roll-up?
I believe the second or third match.
I think that was
the
one
one where Cesaro, quote unquote, used the ropes.
No, not Cesaro's win. It was one of the Sheamus wins, but he like rolled Cesaro up or something, or Cesaro was injured and he got hit with a bro kick. Either way, it wasn't like a super clean finish. I didn't really like that one.
I kind of like Sheamus.
It was a short match.
Sheamus is okay.
I don't know.
I think he can win. I think this could get him over, get him back in the good graces with the crowd.
As a heel?
As a face.
So you think he beats Cesaro and then somehow turns face?
Like, you can do face turns in a match.
With another face?
Yes.
I guess you do the, like, you know, at the end of the match, like shaking hands.
Or like a shake hands, or like Sheamus just shows you that will, like he's not going to give up. He's going to beat Cesaro. And Cesaro doesn't have to resort to heel tactics to win.
Sheamus would have to stop doing the... Does he still do the braided beard thing, or has he quit that?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to his facial
I
hair.
remember he disappeared to shoot Ninja Turtles.
He needs to bring back the flat top.
I remember he disappeared to shoot Ninja Turtles, and they came back and had like the braids and stuff, and it was like, you look stupid.
He was going for that like a Spartacus look.
I mean, he still has the mohawk, which is weird, but...
I don't mind his look. Like, I don't mind it.
So, I say Cesaro, you say Sheamus. Next up is the Raw, I cannot talk. Raw tag team, Rog.
The Raw Tag Team Championship, The New Day versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, who are no longer being referred to as the Club for whatever reason.
Because AJ's gone.
But they still too sweet.
I'm happy you took that over, like, after, like, the 10th try.
I think Gallows and Anderson go over.
How close are the New Day to Demolition's record?
They're not going to do it. That's just way too long.
How close are they?
Probably another, like, not quite 100 days. Probably about another 75 days. They're still a good 2.5, 3 months.
They have to be, like, till Survivor Series?
Almost to the Rumble. We're talking almost 3 months.
And if the Club takes
Survivor
another
Series is in
loss...
November.
Okay, see, here's the thing. Gallows and Anderson need the win. Because if the Club take another loss, it's not going to be pretty. So I'm going to say Gallows and Anderson, but it would not surprise me if the New Day won.
I think it's going to be some, like, weird sort of bullshit if the New Day somehow sneak away with this.
Don't have to turn them heel because they're going to get booed again.
But then you'd have to, like, would that... Because there's no other tag teams on Raw. Would that make the Club face?
Are you saying the Shining Stars are not going to...
Like, apart from, like, Enzo and Cass...
Is there only... Oh, I was about to say, yeah.
There's 4 tag teams. Which is only, like... There's only, like, 4 or 5 on SmackDown, too, so...
It was a horrible idea to split up the tag division, wasn't it?
We need to... And then the Dudleys retired. Like, right after.
That's why they want to... Oh, you didn't talk about that. They have reportedly wanted Matt Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
And I text you, like, what if they only bring Matt Hardy back?
That would be straight salty. Somebody should say that, like, they should pair Lita back up with him and call her Delita. Would they also bring, like, Reby Sky over, too?
Probably not. Hasn't she been in, like, several problems?
I don't know. They would have to bring over Senior Benjamin, who apparently now I follow this guy on Twitter and on Tumblr, and he posts like gifs of like all during all the shows. That's how I get all my stuff from Impact. Apparently, like Vanguard 1 and Senior Benjamin are now like one in the same. Like whenever Vanguard 1 pops up, he pops up a hologram of Senior Benjamin. It's getting more and more crazy, and I'm loving it.
Oh God! If he goes to WWE, you know that he's gonna drop that gimmick, right? He's gonna go back to.
I want to see like a triple threat or a fatal 4-way between Broken Matt Hardy, The Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, and Sting. Even though Sting's probably never going to wrestle in the WWE again.
Or ever again.
I mean, he wrestles indie events. He wrestled at Oklahomania.
I thought he had to retire.
No. He retired from WWE.
I thought Seth retired him.
He's a dangerous worker, you know. That's Seth Rollins.
Well, that buckle powerbomb.
That's Seth Rollins, man.
That Sting actually did take wrong. I went back and watched it. Sting.
That's Seth Rollins, man. He's dangerous.
I mean, granted, like...
Nobody should ever work with Seth Rollins.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, I don't think he's a dangerous worker. It's a string of bad luck. But seriously, he has injured... He broke Cena's nose. And then Sting took the powerbomb wrong, which injured him.
Well, Cena also admitted that he took that... What was it, a knee?
Yeah, it was a knee to the face.
He admitted that he took that knee wrong as well.
And then Balor took the powerbomb wrong on the apron.
So, like, maybe Seth's not the dangerous worker. Maybe he's fighting some dangerous workers. Like, well, first of all, Sting hasn't been in, like, Sting hadn't been in a high-profile match in, like, 20 years.
But see, here's also the thing. A knee to the face isn't hard to sell, Cena. Like, just lean your head back.
Cena doesn't have to... I think Cena does that kind of stuff intentionally so he doesn't really have to sell. He can just act naturally.
Make your job.
And that's why that's also why he let Brock punch him in the face back in like 2012.
Make your job a hell of a lot easier.
It does. Kind of. I guess you still have to take a legit punch.
So you think to act that Val Venus actually got his dick chopped off?
Method acting.
What's the thing that says choppy pee pee or something like that?
Method acting.
Oh God, Attitude Era, or was that Ruthless Aggression Era?
Dude, there's like 98.
Well, I didn't watch wrestling back then. I just know it's shown up on What Culture a few times. But then we have the Raw Women's Champion Charlotte versus Sasha
Banks,
Mrs. Banks, the Boss, and Bailey.
Charlotte.
Really? What?
Charlotte.
Bailey.
Bailey?
No, not yet. Sasha.
I'm not sure if Sasha's 100% healed. That's why. Because she still has her back taped up and all that. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to wait until she's at, like nobody's ever 100%.
Are you going to mark out a Bailey wins?
I mean, of course, but, like, Bailey's my favorite thing ever.
Maruru.
What?
Maruru.
Bailey's my favorite thing ever.
So you're saying Charlotte? I'm honestly not sure. I want to say Sasha, but...
I don't think they'll do it with Sasha quite yet because she's not healed. I think she might take it at, like, the Rumble. I think that'd be cool.
Do you think Dana Brooke gets involved?
I mean, eventually.
Is she banned
Unfortunately.
From ringside? Is she banned from ringside yet?
Probably not.
What if she comes in and screws over...
Steel cage.
What if she comes in and screws over Charlotte?
Steel cage. Surround that shit in a cage.
I feel like you've said this for every pay-per-view for the past... Since we started
Put
Jobbercast.
the women in the steel cage. They all want it. They all want it. It was Sasha and Bailey's idea originally before the Iron Woman match. It was supposed to be... They wanted a steel cage. Let the women wrestle in the cage. Put them in a cell. Put them in a goddamn elimination chair. Put them in a ladder match.
I don't know if I want to see women in a ladder match.
Why not?
That's a lot of high-risk moves, and a lot of the women are still kind of green. Like,
especially Sasha's botch fest.
And Charlotte, Charlotte has gotten way better since her main roster debut, but like there for a while, she looked incredibly not ready to be on the main roster.
Bailey and a veteran woman like
Natalia
in a ladder match. Because I trust Bailey to be safe, and then I trust either one of the veterans like Nikki Bella or Naomi or...
I feel like with Nikki we wouldn't see that many like high spots.
I would think with Nikki it'd be a little bit more high spots. She seems like she wants to do things, it seems like now. Like she's not afraid to I like her new finisher. It's like that...
Well, apparently they told her not to do it.
She can't. Yeah.
It's like that reverse F5 AA combination thing.
She should do an AA.
I thought that's what she was going to do. That person's like, really? Like that's what we're going with? That would have been amazing.
And then she should also slap the STF on.
I kind of like how she is built kind of like the powerhouse right now of the women's division.
And she's so small in comparison to Natalia.
Yeah, no, she looks pretty, she's pretty ripped compared to the rest.
I know, but I like the women who look like Natalia and Dana Brooke.
Also, I just want to mention Becky Lynch apparently claims she can deadlift 300 pounds.
I wouldn't be surprised. I want to see her like deadlift Big E Langston. I think that would be hilarious. No, she does that. She goes, "Come at me, bro."
Okay, so you're saying
Charlotte... And then immediately all of her challengers drop out. She's like, "Shoot, that bitch just deadlifted Big E Langston. I'm done."
So you're saying Charlotte. I'm gonna say Sasha, honestly. And then United States Champion Rusev versus Roman Reigns.
Gotta be Rusev.
Why?
Rusev's so strong right now.
I'm gonna say Reigns.
I don't think yet. Eventually.
I think they're going to try to build him up right, but still try to force him down.
That's still not building. Putting him over Rusev, to me, is still not putting him over right.
No, it's going to get him even worse.
Because Rusev is so hot.
They need to just turn Roman heel.
Rusev is as hot now as like the New Day was back at like Money in the Bank or Battleground.
Either that or who is less over than Roman Reigns right now? Like, who was getting such a different
The Miz
reaction?
circa 2013?
Because I'm trying to think, you have to put Roman over someone who is more hated.
Who else gets X-Pac heat? Nobody. Nobody currently in the WWE is getting X-Pac heat like
Poor
Roman
Reigns.
Reigns.
Like, he
didn't do anything to deserve this. Creative did this to him.
And Vince did this to him. And Cena's injury.
What would the WWE be like right now if Cena had not gotten injured? He'd probably still be U.S. champ.
See, this is what I feel like happened. Remember, like, last year when all those injuries went down? Like, they had to have a top face. Rollins was out, Randy was out, Cena was out. The next man up, and he wasn't ready. The crowd was not ready for a next man up, and he got booed the fuck out of the building.
So it's like when Tony Romo got hurt for the Cowboys, and then Matt Castle also got hurt. You had to put Kellen Moore in, and he definitely was not ready.
Okay, let's be honest. Moore barely looked ready in college. So I don't think anyone expected him to be ready for the pros.
But to be honest, Matt Castle didn't look ready, and he was like a 12-year vet.
You also signed him a week and then threw him into the game as the starter.
It's not like it's a difficult offense.
And he still looked better than Kellen Moore.
It was like the most basic offense you could
No,
run.
I want you to think about that. And I know this is a wrestling podcast, but Moore had like the entire offseason to learn that offense. Castle had a week and ran it better.
So now we have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
For the WWE Universal Championship.
Owens.
Fight Owens, fight.
It's Owens.
Yeah.
It's got to be Owens.
I don't think it's a clean finish. I think Triple H comes back.
I would say it's like Triple H has to show up, right?
Well, Triple H just keeps doing this thing where every few weeks he just comes out, pedigree someone, then disappears.
Or like, you remember when Chris Jericho came back like the second or third time, and he just would walk out to the ring and like, yeah, and he would like run around the ring when he first showed up with the light bright jacket.
Yeah, and that was right.
And that's eventually what turned him heel.
That was like his feud with Punk.
Yeah, that eventually turned him heel.
I remember
only Jericho could turn heel without saying a single word.
I remember whenever I first started watching, and I really honestly just hate it because I was a bit too into kayfabe, and I just like hated heels.
That was so funny.
And I was kind of happy to see Jericho because I'd heard about him. Like, obviously I didn't watch. And then he was like a heel, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. And then he like started pouring alcohol down Punk's throat and stuff. And like looking back on it, he was a great heel.
That was such a good storyline.
And then like Punk won, so it ended. I think did Jericho win at Mania, and then Punk won?
No, because that was for the title. That's for the WWE title. That was during his long reign.
Yeah, it was for the title. Okay,
that was at Mania. And then they fought again, I think, at Extreme Rules.
In a street fight, because I remember that because that was my first ever street fight that I saw pictures of, and it was like they're in street clothes. And I'm like, is that
that was like the only difference. That's the only thing I really kind of like about street fights is that they come out in like street clothes, especially HBK. HBK always did that. I don't think Triple H did that in their street fight at SummerSlam.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
He was in jeans.
Oh, was he? I just remember like because that was like Shawn's first match since '98, and he just showed up in jeans, boots, and and like a cut-off T-shirt.
No, it's amazing. He took wrestling off from 1998 to what?
To 2002,
and still came out and burned the house down.
Yeah, well that match, he only wanted to do it with Hunter because he wanted to see if he could still go.
And he could.
Could he?
Are you sure about that?
He's like, I can still go. Little teenager John Cena's like, Are you sure about that? Or OVW John Cena's like, are you sure about that?
Poor Cena looked really freaking ripped.
Yeah. Well, now it's time for the main event.
What was it again?
We literally just watched it like an hour ago.
It was an hour and like 20 minutes ago.
Trish Stratus versus Lita. Main event. First time women have ever main evented Raw.
Okay, and I want you to know, I actually watched part of this match twice. Because I tried to watch it last week. One fell asleep halfway through because I tried to watch it at like 3 a.m. Not a good decision. I was just tired. It wasn't a boring match. I just fell asleep. But I remember seeing Lita try to kill herself on that suicide dive, and I was still surprised by it whenever we watched it again.
Yeah, that was like when Big E did that. That was at Money in the Bank, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When he did that suicide dive and like collapsed. Like he went from Big E's probably like what 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
He collapsed himself to about 5'7".
Yeah, collapsed up to my height.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you are not foldable.
He went from being Russell Westbrook to Spud Webb.
A little bit taller than Spud Webb.
In a matter of seconds.
Poor Spud Webb.
Because he collapsed himself into the barricade.
I thought he seriously died.
Because Lita did the exact same thing in this match.
And then, okay, so the thing with Trish's face, obviously it was a kayfabe injury, right?
At first, it wasn't. Because I remember how I told you I thought Trish bled in that match?
Mm-hmm.
It was their first match. It was a match I think about a month before. Lita had actually broken Trish's nose and she had bled from the nose.
Okay. But
from that point where we saw it was kayfabe, that's why she took the mask off later.
Yeah. Now this was probably the shortest main event match that we've watched because it was a Raw match and not a pay-per-view.
It was only like 15 minutes probably.
I would say 10.
It was
10 to
pretty
12.
short. It was a women's match and it was a Raw match.
But it was the main event of Raw.
It was the main event of Raw, but it was also a women's match. Women's matches back then didn't last very long.
So how often did title changes happen on Raw back then? Back whenever you watched as a kid?
Sometimes the IC title would change hands. Very often with the European title. The European title would oftentimes change hands. But the European title also stopped existing in late 2002.
Do you think they need another title like that in current WWE that gets kind of passed around a little bit more?
I think NXT needs a TV title.
Could you call it a TV? Could you call it the network title?
I could call it a network title, but I think TV title would be like, oh, I recognize a TV title. Every promotion's had a TV title.
But they don't air on TV anywhere.
Well, you can watch it on your TV.
I can also watch it on my phone.
Well, you can also watch ESPN on your phone. They still call that television.
It's called Watch ESPN. It's not called Watch TV ESPN.
But you still consider ESPN television. Even though you're watching on your phone, you're watching television.
Apparently, I'm going to lose this argument, so I threw something at him.
But give NXT a TV title.
They need a singles title, and it needs to go to Ty.
Ty Dillinger needs something. He's been in developmental on and off for well over 10 years. He was the guy Shawn Michaels super kicked back in 2006. He was Stan.
I think it's the 4th time you've mentioned it on this podcast.
He was Stan.
We've had 7 episodes, and you've mentioned it 4 times.
I think twice. I
3.
mentioned it on the last episode.
3 at least.
I just kicked Stan.
Okay. But what would you rate this match that Lita ended up winning off of a twist of fate into a moonsault?
That was so good. Just off that finish, I'd give it like a 3.5. It was a really good finish.
Yeah, I'd say 3.5.
A twist of fate into a moonsault.
Yeah.
The totally Matt Hardy way to win.
So we've now had 6 main events?
More or less. Yeah, we wouldn't have had one.
Yeah, we didn't have one.
We didn't have one on the first episode. So
what has been your favorite one so far? My favorite one currently is the first one we did, CM Punk, John Cena.
It's going to be hard to beat that first one. Now that I think of it, I'm going to change the main event from what it originally was going to be, which I'm not going to say what it was originally because we're probably going to do that one next week.
Okay.
Let's watch the Shawn Michaels Triple H street fight from SummerSlam 2002.
Which Shawn Michaels Okay, I watched the 3 Chases of Hell match recently.
Yeah, you watched the 3 Chases of Hell. This is the street fight. This is Shawn Michaels' first match since 1998.
Okay.
This is his first match since WrestleMania 14. He fought Triple H at SummerSlam 2002. Which it's one of my favorite rivalries ever, is Triple H Shawn Michaels. We still don't even know what the hell that is that you just broke.
Hi.
You just showed up with that, and I don't know what it is, and you just broke it.
I didn't break it. I ripped it.
You broke it.
We need a webcam so I can show this sort of stuff.
I'm going to start doing camera.
We sell a webcam at the place that I work.
Stop trying to... It's probably crap.
I looked it up on Amazon. It's got 4.5 stars.
Ooh.
It only goes up to 720 though.
Ooh. I only render in 720, so it doesn't matter.
I do too, so it doesn't matter.
Does it do 60 frames?
Probably not, but it's also $30. So
You should buy it as an investment into this podcast.
if I buy it, I'm using it on my own channel. Where I don't have a face cam on anything and don't plan to have a face cam on anything.
I'll have face cam on everything.
I like the fact that the face cam in this would be pointed at you and I'd just be like...
You just lean in. You just lean into everything.
Are you sure about that?
I'm going to get me something that just like folds down. So, are you sure about that?
Okay, well, anyway. All right, I guess it's your channel. You can sign it off.
So, remember, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, SummerSlam 02, main event. It's really awesome. I think I've watched that match at least 5 times that I can remember. Because it was really good. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time, anytime, all the time, all day, every day.
You completely botched that finish.
Dab on everybody.